Death Spiral, the only anime podcast currently being translated into over 15 different languages. We've gone fully international. Our audience is the most diverse in the podcast world.
It's true.
We're doing Farsi. We're doing Spanish. We're doing various kinds of Russian.
I was going to say, we just closed the deal. You probably haven't even heard about this yet, Remy, because I just got the email. We closed the deal. We're doing it in Esperanto. We got Esperanto.
We got Esperanto. That's great for the hobbyists out there. Now, obviously, the Latin translation is a bit of a stunt. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to admit it.
No, it's a marketing thing, but people expect that kind of stuff, you know? It's fun. It's fun to have little extras like that.
Yes. The Lithuanian community is a little mad that we got to Latin before Lithuanian. But
well, we are going alphabetical.
Hey, look, there's just not that many anime fans in Lithuania. I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking at the numbers right now. What am I supposed to do? How do I justify that?
I don't know. Having briefly worked with like a bunch of Eastern European people, there are actually probably like a lot of anime fans in Lithuania and the surrounding area. I think that may be wrong.
There are anime is obviously a global phenomenon. Everyone loves anime.
No, it's the biggest psyop in human history. And the Japanese government, they're killing it, by the way. This is going so well for them. The export of anime culture has just been so spot on for all of their cryptic goals.
Yes, I mean, the pro-Japanese zeitgeist it's incredible that any marketing campaign could be as successful as this. Can you think of any other country on Earth that has successfully rehabbed its culture as thoroughly and successfully as Japan has?
No, it's
not a single one.
They pulled a hat trick with that one. We got to give it to them.
They really fucking killed it.
Yeah,
it's incredible. And I think it's success because of stuff like what is the English name of this show? You don't know Gunma yet.
You don't know Gunma.
We mentioned this a little bit.
I think you did. Remind me again what the premise of this is.
Omae wa mada Gunma wo shiranai reiwa ban. This is the tourism board produced anime about how cool Gunma is. Remember we talked about this?
Right, yes, we did talk about this, and same with Zatsutabi. That's Journey. These are specific, overt propaganda pieces about how cool specific places in Japan are. You know, okay, so actually that brings up an interesting thing that I read. I think that part of the push for these type of travel anime, where the whole idea is to get outside of Tokyo, because that is the one premise that they all share. You have a character who is miserable in the city, and so that they have to get out of the city and find some kind of rural setting to mellow out in, right?
Sure. The premise of Gunma is that the character is moving to Gunma, and basically everything and everyone is implying that Gunma steals your soul and destroys you as a person. But the people in Gunma are fine, and they're convincing him everything's going to be okay. But he has been told that Gunma is a cursed place. So all the humor is that actually Gunma's cool.
I don't know. That's That's an interesting take on it. It's like, hey,
it's an interesting
you
take.
heard about that shitty town, right? Hey, did you ever consider that it's actually a cool place?
It's cool. If you're trying to be okay, yeah, people talk shit about moving to Gunma, but it's actually fine. Everybody says that stuff, but it's not true. It's not true at all. Actually, it rules here.
No, actually, it's really cool. It's like that. Yeah. It's like the travel brochure video that the Simpsons get for the perfect town in the Hank Scorpio episode.
Yeah. 2 hammock stores.
Oh, just pop down to the hammock district. Yeah, I think that what I was getting at is I think the push for a lot of these travel shows is because we are in a current era of unprecedented tourism rates in Japan. Their economy isn't doing great, so the exchange rate between the dollar and the yen is like really advantageous for international travel right now. And I think that it is causing strain on a lot of things. And so they are trying to encourage people to spread out as much as possible to alleviate like just Tokyo being even more overrun than it usually is.
Hey, Tokyoites, how about you fuck off?
Yeah. Hey, why don't you get out of here? Leave some for the rest of us, why don't you?
And this current economic woe of the Japanese is something you intend to exploit.
Well, if you're going to out me, yes. I am not helping to solve the problem. That's for sure.
No, you intend to actually profit from this.
Yeah, no,
this
I intend
current
to profit
hardship.
off of this. That is true. But it's only because the dollar's doing so bad right now. You got to make up for it somewhere, right? I'm just saying, spend them if you got them. YOLO.
Where are you? Was that me?
Okay, I think Remy is having some technical difficulties, so I'm just going to take this moment to insert some of my direct, unfiltered opinions on some things. One Piece is boring. I don't think anybody should watch it. I think it's actually quite a stupid show, and I think it looks ugly. Dragon Ball Z is mid, but that's an old one. Jujutsu Kaisen is actually a really good show because it has an underlying level of self-loathing injected into it. I think that Gigi Akutami wants the story to be bad, and it is, but I like it that way. All right, that's it. Let's see if Remy catches this when he's editing the episode. I don't even like anime that much, if we're being honest about it. It's like they're cartoons for little babies, and I don't think enough people really latch on to that fact. They're children's entertainment. There's no functional difference between the Smurfs and gummy bears in anime.
Oh, okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay. No, I was just having a little one-on-one chat, and just me and the audience. No prying ears. So I was having a little unfiltered time, but it's fine. Let's get back to it.
I swore I would always protect the audience from that. I can't believe I've let them down. I'm so sorry, guys. It turns out the Lithuanians did launch a DDoS attack, taking me offline.
They really were upset when you called them out as being fake anime fans.
It was not good. It was not good. I'm sorry. I was just talking about the numbers, guys. Please stop sending me DDoS attacks. I'm not rich enough to have a backup line.
Listen, their demands were pretty clear. They want us to get back on track and talk about some anime, which is something they apparently like.
Anime. Oh, anime. Is that what you're talking about in my absence? Were you discussing anime?
We were talking a little bit about anime, just rapping a little, it's a fine art, enjoyable for everybody of all ages, for sure, Anime is it's totally not a little baby's children entertainment thing. And it's for cool, mature adults that have, lives and jobs and houses.
Well, I will say I would be concerned showing some younger, impressionable minds some of these anime, not because they're, violent or the sexual content, more that they might introduce, let's say, problematic ideological content into an unformed brain, a cerebellum full of holes.
Now, I just want to interject and say it sounds like he's trying to imply that this is towards some specific thing that we're about to start talking about. Some one specific show. No, this is all of them. This is all of them.
How dare you accuse me of that? No, this
is not narrowed down any kind of list to what you might be referring to.
Oh yeah. Well, I was not affected at all by the sexual content and violence that I was exposed to as a youth. I would say it was actually perfectly fine. Did not do any damage in any way.
As the kids say, we were built different. We bodied that shit. We absorbed it, and it didn't affect us in any negative way. And so we just carried on with our lives. I don't know how it is for young kids these days. Like, maybe we need to be a little bit more fragile with them. But, I like it. Berserk, Bastard, all that shit. It didn't affect me. I'm like a totally normal person.
Well, Berserk didn't affect you because you didn't read that until your early 40s. But I'm thinking more like the politics of Gundam Wing, for example. The killing of the people, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Did not affect me in any way. The convoluted politic did unfortunately really got to me. Introduced a lot of radical politics into my young impressionable brain that affect me to this day.
It is why you are violently anti-monarchist these days. We can go straight back to Gundam Wing for that one.
Yes. Relino is so annoying that it turned me against all royalty, all royal families of the world. The King of Spain, fucking fuck off, dude.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that royal look to him. Fuck that guy. I, in turn, Pokemon taught me that animal fighting is cool, actually.
It's cool. It's actually cool.
Actually, no, that's like a cool thing to do. Like, it makes you a better person, is when you fight your pets with your friends' pets.
But yeah, obviously the Pokemon politics are flawless. They never instilled anything bad in us. I was more talking about, the other shows. Like Rurouni Kenshin tried to teach us that pacifism was good.
Really fucked up there.
Yeah. Or like how Ranma taught us that it's okay to be a boy and a girl at the same time.
Well, people are just catching up to that one. That actually is way ahead of its time. And I think more specifically, it taught us that both boys and girls, no matter which one you are, or combination, or lack thereof, Kung Fu is really cool when you do it. Everybody looks cool doing Kung Fu. I think that's the lesson there. And when your dad's a panda, I guess. That factors into it somehow. I'm not exactly sure how, but that was part of it from my memory.
For a very long time in my life, I did think all trans people's parents were pandas. I thought that's where they came from. The community has reached out. I'm
in a similar situation. I didn't think panda specifically. I thought maybe that was just like, all right, Ranma's dad is a panda, but maybe everybody else has like different animal parents.
Like a deer family, deer mom.
Well, there were a lot of different magical hot springs for people to fall into. I assume the implication in the show is that when you fall in, everybody turns into something different. Ranma turns into a girl and his dad turned into a panda. So it's like, I think that probably we saw hundreds of them in the ground. So there's probably like at least one for each animal, I'm assuming.
What is the strongest parent that you can get? Like, which parent turns you into the strongest gender swapping child?
Oh, okay. I think
it's got to be lion, right?
No. Lions.
No.
Honestly, lions kind of suck. I'm thinking more like
lions
hippo.
Suck.
Yeah, hippo is where I'm going.
Hippo.
Yeah.
Why? Because they can chew a watermelon.
No, because they can eat a man in 3 bites.
3 bites. Come on.
Yeah. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a torso? 1 with a hippo, because they're huge. You've never been around a hippo, a full-size one. They are quite large, and they will go through you like butter.
I could easily defeat any hippo. Easily.
Okay, we're gonna sit on that one a bit.
And I can't even swap my gender.
You're not even a kung fu guy.
I don't even need to swap my gender, and I can defeat a hippo.
You don't
easily.
even know kung fu, and how do you think that you could fight and not just fight and survive, fight and win against a hippo?
I could easily fight and win. I am doing visual training right now, like Baki fighting the giant mantis.
Did anyone ever call Baki out on that? Like, hey, what's he doing? He's doing intense visual training in his mind, and that's going to make him stronger. It's like, no, he's just imagining himself winning a fight. Like, I can do that. I'm doing that right now.
But it did make him stronger. It's making you stronger. Visual training makes you stronger. It's proven.
No, it's not.
Baki
That's not a real
stronger.
thing. Visual training is not a real thing.
It is
That's
a
just
real thing.
imagining yourself doing something that you want to do and then succeeding at it. And then you go, yeah, when it happens, that's exactly how I'm going to do it.
This is exactly why your kung fu is weak. Your kung fu is not strong.
You know nothing about my kung fu.
I don't need to. Your kung fu is weak. I could defeat your kung fu with one hand, using my single blade style.
Ah, Toad style is incredibly strong.
You know what incredible anime I watched? Sweetheart's The Blade. You ever seen that shit?
No. What?
God damn.
Sweetheart's The Blade?
Sweetheart? Are you kidding me? You don't know who Sweetheart is?
Sweetheart, no. No, I don't.
Are you really coming out as super racist on the podcast?
Oh, God. Please tell me what I'm getting myself into with this conversation.
You don't know Once Upon a Time in China?
No, I've not seen it, no.
You have not seen Once Upon a Time in China? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, to be fair, I've only seen one Once Upon a Time film, and that was in Mexico. I haven't seen the other ones in the series.
This is, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to this. This is insane. It's like one of the greatest kung fu movies ever made. Like launched Jet Li as a superstar.
No, I thought that was Cradle to the Grave.
No, that came much, much later. He was already a superstar. To be put up against DMX in a movie, you had to be a superstar. What about, I don't know, what would you have seen if you didn't see that shit? A Chinese Ghost Story, maybe? That one is great. What a great movie.
No, I haven't seen it.
This is horrible. If I were you, I'd be lying about this right now. Honestly, this is like embarrassing. Have you ever seen a movie?
You know, at least 10. If I had to really think about it, I could name at least 10 movies that I've seen in my life.
This is really blowing me away. I don't
listen. Put together a list.
I know he's direct. You've seen Detective D and the Mystery of the Phantom Flame. I know because we've watched this together.
Okay, I have seen that one,
and that movie rules so insanely hard.
Yeah, no, it's great,
incredibly good.
Okay, now I have a point of reference. Yes, I have not seen his other movies, but I have seen Detective D, and I did quite like it. Quite a bit.
It's so good. Oh, fuck. You got to watch some Sweetheart movies. I honestly, I'm like reeling from this.
Okay. Well, when was I supposed to have sat down and watched all this stuff? I'm a busy man. I've got things to think about in my life, things you wouldn't understand, Remy. I don't have all the time in the world to watch kung fu movies.
I mean, he's been making movies since many, many years before you were born. So I would say you literally had your entire life.
All right. Enough roasting me for not being as worldly and cultured as you, all right? I get it. You've seen more stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. You're on Japan's side. I get it. You know, you've chosen a side. Hey,
let's keep this whole thing non-political, okay?
Oh, sorry. Okay, fine. I know you've watched some anime. I guess let's go back onto safe territory.
I have watched some anime. Unfortunately, I haven't watched any new anime this week. Never mind. I take it back. I did watch some anime this week because I watched it with you.
Yeah, you did watch some anime.
Yeah. Hey, all right.
You came on while I was watching some new anime, so you watched it with me.
Yep, that is true. Yeah. And I regret entering your anime watching at the time that I did because you were watching what was it called? The Darwin Awards? Is that the name?
The Darwin Incident, please.
The Darwin Incident.
The Darwin Incident.
Yeah. So I felt that I made myself pretty clear when we were picking out our shows to watch for this season that I am, in fact, like, not okay with chimpanzees. I find them unsettling and weird. I've seen Jordan Peele's Nope. I know what a chimp can do to a human face. I don't want to be anywhere near them, nor do I want to support them in the arts or in the things that I watch. And so why were you watching the Darwin Incident?
Well, for one thing, it's not an isekai.
That does put it leagues above pretty much most other things. Oh, all right.
This shoots enough. It way up the list.
Way up.
Way up the list. And, it's not a returning series. We've talked about how this season, it's a pretty good season, but that's mostly because everything coming out right now is a season 2, a season 3, right, of shows we already like.
Yeah.
Hell's Paradise, Frieren, Jujutsu Kaisen, Spy Family.
All the big hits.
Yeah. I'm missing a few even. There's a few more. And as far as the original shows go, there's a handful. Fate, Strange Fake I'm keeping up with. Playing Death Games I'm keeping up with. I wanted to watch some other ones, as I said before. And Darwin Incident is honestly, topping the list. Because it's such a unique and interesting premise. We have so few shows that are not about, like shonen heroes battling each other?
Well, you have your isekais and your, like, fake isekai, which is stuff like, Sentenced to be a Hero. I got kicked out of the greatest heroes party, and
I'm trying to date a hero.
Yeah, trying to date a hero. Is it wrong to pick up heroes in the dungeon? Stuff like that. And then you have stuff like this. Dropping the pretense of my anti-ness towards this. I do like that it's an original story, an original animation. Like you said, we get so few of those these days.
Well, it is based on a manga.
It's based on a manga. Oh, it is based on a manga. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Still, it's an interesting, weird sci-fi premise, I feel like for how weird the main character looks and how afraid I am of chimpanzees in general, I can look past that and see that, like, this is straying towards a more, like, hard sci-fi, like, what if kind of question as its premise that you don't see often in a lot of these shows.
I guess so. I'm not sure if I would go hard sci-fi.
Maybe not hard sci-fi, but you think that it's putting a little bit more thought into, like, hey, what if there was a super strong and smart, like, human ape hybrid, and what would his interaction with the world be like? It's putting just, like, the barest minimum amount of thought into that idea, into exploring a world based around the concept.
Sure. I would describe this as a political thriller, which is what puts it in sort of a rarefied category for, like, popular anime. Because, there's not that many of those. My favorite one, obviously, I don't know if you have any good ones, but my favorite one is Akumetsu. You'll remember this is the one about the political terrorist who kidnaps and executes a bunch of politicians while giving long speeches about modern economic theory.
What was that so manga from the 70s? Something 2 that you were telling me about a while ago, where he does the same thing. He's like a super powerful god robot or something, and he just comes in. And he's got a pet jaguar. Something like that. A pet panther.
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Babel
2. Yes, yeah. Babel 2 is very good. That one is so insanely bonkers. I don't know if I would call it a political thriller. It is political, though. It does have a lot of strong statements it makes about the modern world in the 70s.
Sure.
And a little bit in the updated one. Not as much, I would say, but there are some pretty inflammatory statements it makes. I appreciate that. I was thinking more like, I don't know, like maybe like a Naoki or a Sawa work where it's really more about social themes, right?
Sure. Like Monster,
like
20th Century Boys.
Monster. Yeah, something that is a thriller, but also tackles like certain social issues. I think this is not on that level because it is kind of ridiculous in the human Z aspect of it all, but it is aspiring to be that kind of story, something more than like, you know, an action manga.
What would you say about something like Eden of the East, where it's more explicitly death game, but with a political thriller undertone to it?
Yeah, I think Eden of the East has political aspirations. I like Eden of the East. I think it was good. It is, again,
it was fine.
I mean, really bonkers. Truly bonkers. And it goes off the rails in some places. I mean, there's some wild shit that it throws around about political cabals and whatnot, though these days, I don't know. But yeah, I that kind of stuff for sure. We don't get quite as many of them these days because I cannot imagine a lot of more people are going to be tuning in for Darwin Incident than shit. I don't know. Fucking My Hero Academia Vigilante or Chained Soldier, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, you like that one. Don't deny it.
Chained Soldier? No, I do not like that one. It's real bad. There's some insanely funny shit that comes out of that premise, but it is not good. But like we talked about something like Journal with Witch, Ikoku Nikki.
Oh, sure.
Where,
yeah.
You know, it's very rare that, you know, we get a big show with an actual budget that's about, you know, themes of grief and kind of quiet contemplation about death and stuff. We don't get that many shows that are making explicit political points, even in the framing of like, what about human monkey hybrids? So I do really appreciate that this exists. It's a little goofy. It's a little ridiculous. The thing I don't like about it is how hard it hedges its bets, right? Because it is explicitly political, and it does have like political terrorists, right? There's an animal liberation front in the show, and they're all about animal rights, these big radical animal rights groups, but they are portrayed as completely like silly idiots.
Yeah, okay, so that's actually kind of the core of what I wanted to get to about the Darwin Incident, and like, what is it trying to say? What is its message? Because it's like what I'm assuming you're about to get into, it seems to be on the side of like, yeah, like human experimentation and creating like the government secretly creating genetic hybrid creatures that they try and control is bad. Like, that's a bad thing. We don't like that. But
it is bad.
But also the vegan the militant vegan bioterrorists that are trying to liberate him are portrayed as like goofy, incompetent, like Keystone Cop douchebags.
Yes. This is a fundamentally like liberal position where radicals have to be portrayed in popular media. They do have to be portrayed as, even if the show very clearly kind of reflexively makes the statement that ideologically they are correct, they do have to be portrayed as like naive, right? Incompetent, cowardly, not particularly bright, and usually being manipulated by a shadowy force to their own ends. That's a
these are
big
all
aspect of these things.
These are all very classic, markers of the bleeding heart, like, leftist, bleeding heart liberal type of stereotype carryover from the 70s and 80s.
I wouldn't even call it a carryover. I would say this is very contemporary. I mean, we see this all the time.
Yeah.
In anime too, in particular, we see this all the time, where people who are politically radical can never be portrayed as brave, competent, politically savvy, and successful, right? You can never be all of those things if you are politically radical in a like left context.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not a great look. I'm gonna be honest.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this show, they carry on the tradition, right? These animal groups are kind of portrayed as silly. The position is like, vegans as a political class are, silly, naive people, right? Who have their heart in the right place, but haven't really thought out their own position.
That's what pisses me off the most about the presentation is that it's got these paternalistic undertones of, they're right, they're morally justified, but they're doing it the wrong way. They should be getting, I don't know, what is the expectation that instead of being terrorists and liberating the experimented on beings, that they should get a government job, get transferred into the evil science department, and then petition from the inside to like release everybody?
Look, all you have to do is simply get a degree, join the evil science department, and change things from the inside. No, I think one of the biggest frustrations of these kinds of projects is honestly, it's very willing to point out things that they believe are wrong, but they have no alternate vision for any kind of political action. That is the significant strain of all projects that kind of bend in this direction. Which, if you can't really commit to an ideology, then that has to be your position, right? Is that, well, I don't know what the solution is, but I know what isn't the solution. And, that's a very standard answer.
It's a bad answer, but it is a standard answer.
It is an insufficient answer, and I think that is a failing of most mainstream political narratives, right? Is that honestly the conclusion being drawn usually is that the people who are trying to fix it are just as wrong as the people who are causing the problem. And I feel that this narrative is centering our human Z as a character who is caught between two groups of people with conflicting ideological narratives, and he has to navigate both of their mistakes while finding his own, very importantly, individualist identity, right?
Which is interesting because
he's a human Z. Yeah, well, I get it.
Well, first of all, he by definition, he's the only human Z that we've seen so far.
Yes.
So he is like definitionally an individual.
Oh, yes.
He does not have a human Z community with which he can go back to because he was created in the evil science lab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An absolute classic story. Mm-hmm. The old Frankenstein.
The most rugged of individualisms.
Yeah. What am I? Where is my place in the world?
I hope that he learns that his place is to conquer the world and usher in a brand new age of ape supremacy, thus tying it into the Planet of the Apes franchise. I assume that this is a sleeper tie-in. Is that not what they're doing?
I would kind of rock if it did take that position. Since the ultimate irony of that would be that to create more of his kind, let's say, he would have to restart the evil science department that created him, which would be quite a choice. They shut down at gunpoint and then they restart at gunpoint. That would be kind of incredible. I like this first episode. I think, again, like I said when we talked about it initially, I'm probably going to go read the manga now and see what's up. I'm very interested in if it still makes the same political points. We know that things can change in an adaptation?
I think so. I think if anything changes is going to be in subtle ways, but we'll see. If anything, it is probably, more due to scenes omitted in the process of translating it from manga to anime, as opposed to straight up like rewriting the politics of the narrative. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a completely different story in the manga.
Well, that would in itself also be very interesting.
Yeah.
How often do we see that?
Well, not often, because there's always a huge stink. It's like the only thing that you hear people talk about when they announce something's getting adapted into an anime. And then after it's made into an anime, the only thing people talk about are what got changed from the manga. Like, that is 90% of anime discussion online, from what I've seen, is just talking about what they changed from the manga. And that is a symptom of what we were talking about earlier, with the lack of like, original non-manga based anime that they put out there. Because what did we say last time? The last thing I can think of is probably Metallic Rouge. Is that what it was called?
Metallic Rouge?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what it's called.
That's what it was called. Okay. The Bones Project.
Yeah.
And that was quite disappointing. So I don't know.
That's the most recent original project you can think of?
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on. Let me think. Hold on. What did I watch last season that was original? Okay. Maybe not last season.
Okay, let's move the goalposts a little farther back.
There's gotta be something. There's got to be something more recent than Metallic Rouge. I am sure of it. Maybe it's not the best example, but Ganglion wasn't based on an manga, right?
No, but Ganglion is a web short. They're 2-minute long episodes.
Yeah, it's still an anime. I mean, Gunma is not based on a manga. At least I don't think so. It's also like a 7-minute show.
Fair enough. Okay, you know what? I take it back. Or at least I watched the first episode of Zenshu last year, 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in original.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, Panty and Stocking wasn't based on a manga, even if it's a legacy show.
Well, sure, but I mean, sequel. Anyway, back to the Darwin Incident. I am interested in seeing where this goes. If you read the manga and it's like, it's got some crazy turns, let me know, because I would actually be interested in looking into that.
Sure. In the meantime, you should read Akumetsu, because it's one of the craziest shit I've ever read in my entire life. It's fucking incredible.
All right. Well, I got some long plane rides coming up. I can probably fit the whole thing in.
Oh, yeah. Man, if you read that on a plane, you will be reeling. You will look around the cabin with new eyes. I promise you.
All right. We did watch something else besides the Darwin Incident.
Yes, we watched something silly after that. I had a curiosity to watch something that I did not have high hopes for, and was vindicated immediately.
Hate it when that happens.
In fact, you know what? Probably not based on a manga. Now that I think about it, it can't be, right? I don't think it was.
It probably based on a light novel, though.
No, that seems even more unlikely, because it is called SI-VIS.
SI-VIS.
And it's all about a magical band of, I guess, alternate dimension defeating pop idol heroes.
Okay. Why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep... I can't deal with it anymore. Okay. Oshinoko is over. We've put it behind us. We can all sit down and like mature adults and agree that making like stories, fantasy stories where being like a J-pop idol is the coolest, most awesome thing ever. We can't do it anymore. We know too much about the truth. what the industry is like, what the world is like. We can't keep doing this. I won't allow it.
We will keep doing this.
Being a J-pop idol is not a cool thing. It's not a cool job to do.
We will continue doing this until the end of time.
No.
I blame Symphogear because people really fucking loved Symphogear.
I suppose. I mean, the obvious person to blame would be, it's Miku, right? That's where it all starts. That's what it all goes back to.
Well, but Miku doesn't battle people.
I mean, maybe not in like official releases, but Miku is everybody's property at this point. I've seen Miku do intricate choreographed kung fu fights with Tifa and Chun-Li from Street Fighter.
Okay, well, I reject that. I hate Miku. I don't want to.
I am putting out the radical opinion that all Miku media is canon, whether it's an official release from the company or not.
Okay, well, I don't think this has anything to do with Miku. I think SI-VIS comes from a long line of pop band evil alien battlers directly inspired by things like Symphogear.
Okay.
I'm sure there are many original works, I guess. There's got to be, what do we call this genre? The idol battler?
Yeah. God, I'm trying to remember. What was there was that one Christmas one that I watched about this alien supercomputer putting together the world's greatest J-pop idol group so that they could also fight aliens. That's right. That was really funny. The monolith, right?
There was an evil monolith.
It was an evil monolith. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. J-pop Sentai is kind of like the mashup that I get from the feeling that I get from all this stuff. You know, it's like it's Super Sentai, but it's also like they're pop idols. And sometimes
when was that first Macross?
Macross is like way old, dude.
Yeah. Maybe that's where it comes from.
Wait, was there a pop idol aspect to Macross?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Macross has idol battlers.
What?
Yeah.
No, Macross is about like robots that turn into planes, like the Wing Gundam.
That is part of it. There's also idol battling.
There's all
Dog, you have got to get into Macross. You will see what I mean.
Okay. You know what? I shouldn't be surprised. Actually, I think it's probably more of an established trope that I'm familiar with because have you been keeping up with Dan to Dan? Because they're also starting to do pop idol battle stuff in that as well.
Yes,
it's actually
I know.
Quite a big aspect of it.
I know the pop idol character with her magical floating friend ghost turtle thing.
And there's a pop idol hero in the My Hero Academia Vigilantes show.
Of course.
So, you know, it's actually being both a pop idol and a superhero. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel like the right term.
Well, we've had them forever, too, in America, right? Because, like...
Sure.
What was the witch band show?
Gem and the Holograms.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's one. I don't think that was the one I was thinking of. But yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly. Stuff like that, you know?
Uh-huh. You're thinking, obviously, of Lizzie McGuire. That's like... That's the reference you were looking for, right?
I was kind of thinking Pussycat Dolls.
That's a different thing. Are you thinking of Josie and the Pussycats?
Yes, that was the one I was trying to pull, but all I could think of was the Pussycat Dolls. That's all I could think of.
Okay, now who's the one stuck in the early 2000s?
I can't escape it. What can I say?
Okay, yes. SI-VIS is a society where... Okay, so it didn't seem... I was having a very hard time, like, just trying to parse the logic of the world they live in. Like, what is the setting? And, you know, you assume that, all right, they're pop idols, so maybe it's like a thing where they have to keep their idol identity separate from their robot demon hunting identity, right?
Yeah, like K-pop. The demon hunters of K-pop.
Yeah, you know, if this was set in Korea and they were fighting demons, it would be like some kind of like demon hunting K-pop group.
Yeah.
But instead, it's set in Japan. And they're fighting like digital robot ghosts. So it's like
alternate dimension digital and android monster drones.
Yeah, which doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well as K-pop Demon Hunters.
I want to make it clear there is an alternate dimension monolith that does kill every single person in Shibuya at the end of the first episode of this show about an idol group.
I mean, we did get pretty far into the second episode, and they did not really make mention of that, like, as a thing people seem to care about.
Well, they got mind wiped.
Right. How could I forget about the mind wiping?
You cannot forget about mind wiping. Very important.
Oh, right, because that's the other thing that we needed to explain about this world, is that if you get killed by the alternate dimension robot data drone things, you do get erased from everybody's memory. That seemed to be the big reveal at the end.
If you die on stage, you die in real life.
And when we say on stage, these are televised battles where apparently the nation's best pop group are the ones chosen to go into the Negaverse to fight these things. That seems like what they were doing, right? Am I getting that right?
Yes, because the JSDF and the CIA are incapable of defeating the alternate dimension drone aliens. It's left up to the entertainment industry.
Like so many other things in our society.
Yeah. Yeah. The famously just and righteous entertainment industry.
Yep. And when they go into the Negaverse, these battles are televised to the outside world, and people seem to cheer them on. And there seems to be some level of interplay between the amount of audience adoration that they're generating and how powerful they are. There was a specific scene where they were talking about how the audience is donating their spirit power, you call it their brain power.
Their brain, they siphon off brain activity from their own audience, which is positioned as cool, but I find frankly a little
disturbing,
horrifying,
upset,
dark.
Who is in control of that process, that technology? I'm not sure. Are we sure that it's only being used to power up this pop idol group as they battle aliens?
Well,
if I was the government, I wouldn't. I'd siphon off a little for myself.
People are not aware. This is the key of it. People are not aware that their brain energy is being harvested by the J-pop band. You gotta tell people that shit like that.
Oh, you're asking for consent from the audience for something like that?
Yeah.
What are you? Some kind of hippie?
Look, if you told me that they're collecting the kinetic energy of people clapping their hands together, then okay, fine, whatever. That's being generated willingly, let's say. But when you start sucking brain juice out of strangers without their knowledge, I start asking questions. What the fuck? That's a big question of mine.
Okay,
for
well,
this show.
you just landed yourself on a government watch list, buddy, and we know whose brain we're going to be sucking first.
Oops. Fuck. I've done too many of this episodes of this show to not already be on a watch list.
We've done too many episodes. We've willingly put our brain power out there. Anyone can go out and harvest it. It's open source at this point.
This show carries on one of my favorite traditions of shocking anime premieres, which is obviously setting up a main character and then immediately murdering him horrifyingly at the end of the first episode. Yes. I want to make it clear, I am not against this move at all. In fact, I like this move quite a bit.
It's free real estate for drama.
Yeah, this is a good move. This is cheap heat. I get it. Obviously it's cheap heat, but it works. It kicks ass.
So we should provide a little context. The majority of the episode, we follow what I can only describe as a tender-eyed young innocent setting out to accomplish his dream of becoming a underage pop idol. Because, again, in this society, apparently being a pop idol is equated to something similar to like military adoration, I guess. Like, people look up to them as like brave public figures because they're fighting giant robots from another dimension.
No, they don't know that that's real. They think it's performance. They think these people are just like a cool fucking band. They think they're One Direction.
See, that totally flew over my head. They think that it's an act. No.
Yes. They think it's like a cool music video thing.
Okay, that makes it even more dark.
You were so lost.
I was so lost in this one.
You were so lost on this.
Okay. Well, that does change things. But he sets out and he goes to the city because, and he called the leader of the current J-pop group is allegedly his older brother. Is that what they said?
Yeah, a cousin, like a third cousin or something. He said it was like distantly related.
A slightly older male relative, someone who embodies an older brother position.
Yes, though positioned by the show as a secret father. I can't give up. I can't give up on that plot twist. It's gotta be his secret dad.
Yeah, you think so? You really?
I think.
I get absolutely. I am rooting for that reveal. We'll have to, after the season's over, let's go back and watch the last episode and see if we get to that point.
Oh God, I hope so.
And he is like doing his little dance, like busking routine on the street, and he's filming himself with his iPhone, and no one's watching because honestly, his dance moves are pretty weak.
They're bad. They're really bad. All the dancing in the show is terrible. And the show is supposed to mostly be about an idol band.
And out of nowhere, he does get one peculiar audience member. She's both a silver-haired Destiny Child and giving off the classic girl in the box stereotype. The Rei Ayanami thing. Kind of that disaffected alien affect.
Oh, yeah. He gets a girl in a box very early on.
He gets to the city. He's like, all right, I'm going to do it. And he starts dancing on the street. And then she shows up. And then, he does get somewhat of a crowd, I guess. People seem to like his weak-ass dance moves. But, maybe there's no accounting for taste. From there is when he meets up with this leader of the band. And somehow he follows the girl into the Negaverse when all the fighting is going on and has to have his ass saved because he's like, he ain't no flyboy. And in a moment of distraction is when they do this twist where the heroic character gets stabbed by a giant claw through the chest. Like, it really gets him. There's not a lot of mass to the human torso, and that thing just goes through him.
Never take your eye off the ball.
Never ever. Especially not in show business. And then some other stuff happens, and then a monolith destroys Shibuya, and a bunch of people die,
pretty
but
sick.
No one remembers. And so it's like, it's cool, right?
It is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that part. That's the coolest part of the show. That every single person in Shibuya dies. That's pretty sick.
What is with Shibuya? It's been getting shit on real bad in a lot of popular manga lately. Have you noticed that?
There's some kind of Shibuya backlash. I don't understand it myself. I don't know what happened, but it's really taken it.
I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna go there and I'll come back and I'll let you know.
It's having its sort of like LA disaster movie moment.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. Next thing, giant wave. Shibuya 2027.
Does Shibuya happen to sit on top of a massive fault line?
Well, I don't know much about Japanese geology, but I have a feeling that they're in a pretty stable spot, you know? The whole region hasn't shifted around much in the last several centuries. Again, I haven't checked that, you know, I'm sure I'm right.
Yeah. We should Google that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Pop idol as a basis for your story, your sci-fi setting, your fantasy setting. I think maybe don't do that. It had potential, but everyone has abused their privileges with this type of storytelling and ruined it for everybody else. And now I think it's not a good idea. I think maybe even we need to let that sit for a while. Come back to it later.
I think I have yet to see something compelling in this mold. I'm willing to be proven wrong here, obviously. Well, let me think about that. Have I ever enjoyed something like this?
He's thinking.
No, I guess not. No, I have not. I can't think of a single one.
There you have it. It's never been done good.
It feels like one of those things where I must be forgetting something big, but I just can't. I can't pull a single one.
So, you know, back to what I was saying, just don't do it. I think actually I'm amending the rule. I'm changing it. Now it's okay. It's okay to do retired hitmen stories again. It's not okay to do pop idol battle stories. I'm swapping them out.
All right, well, you heard him, folks. If you're drawing one right now, drop the pen, pencils down. No more of that.
It does bring me to my last point for this episode, and that is that I am reading a manga right now that is about a retired hitman. And
Jesus Christ.
You may remember a while ago when we were shitting on what's that one that just came out about the hitman that retired and got fat and grew a mustache and now he works at a convenience store. Sakamoto Days. When we were talking about Sakamoto Days and I said, like, man, this would be more interesting if, like, instead of retiring to, like, have an idyllic life, you know, in a small town with, like, a wife and a kid. Like, what if he just, like, retired and decided to become, like, a total fuck up, like, shut-in hikikomori type dude? Like, what if he just really fucked up his life by quitting his assassin job?
Sure.
And now I'm reading a manga that just started. It's about 9 or 10 chapters in right now, called Nighthawk Returns. And it is that exact premise. Yeah. It is that exact premise, except that our retired assassin is a lady instead of an old man. Which I call him an old man because that's how he's drawn, but I looked it up and, like, canonically in the show, in the manga, Sakamoto is like 28 years old. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
like, that's
very
fucked
weird.
up.
I know.
This one is like she's in her late 30s and she didn't want to be an assassin anymore. So she took all of her assassin money and discovered that she's really bad at gambling. And so she lost all of her assassin money gambling on horse races. And now she, like, lives in a pile of her own filth in a tiny apartment.
Got tricked by Uma Musume.
You know what? It happens to the best of us. I've got a support group if anyone's interested. and the story is about her old assassin. It's the setting of the story is kind of the same as Sakamoto Days, where assassin is almost a legitimized job, and there's, like, assassin companies that the government contracts out to like just put out casual hits on people.
Yes, many such cases.
Yeah. And so her former assassin company is reaching out to her, trying to get her to come back because, you know, she was just the best. And her being like, nah, fuck that. I kind of like being a loser. Like, it sucks, but Also, like, having a job sucks. So
it's true.
The concierge that they've sent to try and persuade her to come back is now kind of like functioning almost like a, I don't know, like an assistant, a butler almost. He just kind of follows her around and makes sure that she doesn't die while he tries to convince her to come back and be like an international assassin.
Sure.
And she is kind of like, no, dude, like, you're wasting your time. And it creates this kind of odd couple scenario. Which I like. In fact, that's probably what I like most about the entire thing. That and the art. Like, the art looks really good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And the couple of fight scenes that they've had in there are really well choreographed and portrayed on the page. But it is very much every joke and every piece of dialogue, specifically about the main character, is very much in the vein of like, hey, what if like girls were actually gross though?
A very big genre. Now it's like it's becoming fully in the mainstream. What if girls were gross too?
Yeah, what if girls were gross too?
Yeah.
And they do not approach that with any kind of nuance or elegance. And
no, of course not.
Yeah. So you can imagine the kind of scenarios that pop up from something like this,
sure.
Which I find a bit off-putting.
Let me put you just to contrast this and put it into a context. Let me give you some recs, okay?
Okay.
To have something to put this into conversation, because we've talked a lot about how hacky like assassin and former assassin stuff is, but the sheer prevalence of it. Much like isekai means, like, at some point the 1,000 monkeys have to turn Shakespeare out on their typewriters, and I have three that this immediately puts to mind. Probably more if I went into the archives, but one being, I've talked about it before, the Fable, De Fabulu, which that now has a third sequel, and the live action show, which I like a lot, which is about an assassin, a retired assassin who really, really does not want to become an assassin again. And that one is really more jokey and irreverent, but in a very like low-key slackery way. It's surprisingly nonchalant in the way that he kind of is of like an accidentally very charming character. I really like that one. Shimazaki in the Promised Land is about a former child soldier who has gone to ground in Japan, his original homeland that he was kidnapped from like 30 years ago and forced into like a sort of like a touring mercenary group around Africa and the Middle East mostly.
Sure.
That one is more grounded. That one is very much about the horror of trying to overcome something as traumatic as that, while he tries to actually live as a normal person. That one is really great. That one is not a comedy, really, even though there's some light moments. It's just a fantastic character study that tries very hard not to be like assassinating is like a fucking cool guy thing to do, which again, very cool, very interesting in the genre space.
You don't get that take very often, you know.
You do not.
It is a downfall of the genre where it tries to glorify, hey, you know what? Hey, actually, maybe it's not cool to kill people for money. Maybe the people who do that are like kind of shitty.
They're scarred for life.
Yeah.
You know, and have to like spend a lot of energy trying to be like normal again and find something to live for, which is a really good aspect of it. And again, like this one, there are forces trying to reactivate him that he is resisting. And then the third one is the series of movies, Baby Assassins, which is about girls can be gross too, except they are not retired. They're active, except like it is very much a day job that they hate, and they would literally rather be at home laying on the couch, like playing on their Switch. And they are girls who are gross in a way that is maybe because they are like real actors portraying this and they can bring their own energy to it, is like very well done and charming and interesting. And those ones are very funny movies, and they do not portray assassinating as like particularly cool, even though they are very good at it. And there's some truly fucking great fight choreography on in that movie, in those movies. But it's always portrayed as very like irreverent and silly, you know, that these situations are coming up at all. And those are very good. And I think they do like, hey, girls can be gross too, in a very good way. Because they're constantly like, I really don't want to do assassin stuff. But then when their handler is like, well, you could get a real job, they're like, no, I really don't want to do that either.
Hey, I don't want to kill people for money, but it is actually easier than just like working at a convenience store, which sucks. So, you know.
Yes. And ironically, the first scene in the first movie is one of the very dysfunctional girls applying for a job at a convenience store.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yes. And she gets hung up because the guy's like, what is this giant gap in your resume? And she cannot explain herself, which very relatable.
I was studying abroad.
Yeah. So, yeah, 3 things that you can put into conversation with this that I think will be very rewarding. And also, those are just good in general.
All right. Well, I think that's enough anime for this week.
That is more than enough anime.
I think that I've run through my anime tank. All right, handsome, beautiful, tall listeners. Thank you once again for sticking with us here as we ramble on and on about anime. Check us back next week. I am going to be checking out some more of the premiere stuff on my list here. There is actually some more things that I do really want to talk about that I haven't got around to watching yet. If you haven't yet, I'll repeat it again from last week. Go watch Inuo. Go watch anything by Masaki Yuasa. Do it right now. Ignore all of your other responsibilities. It's that important.
Disregard further instructions. Watch Masaki Yuasa videos.
Immediately. Anything you want to add in there?
Yeah, watch Hell's Paradise Season 2 because that show deserves to end. And considering how short the manga run is, we actually might have a good shot at seeing an ending. Watch Playing Death Games to Put Food on the Table. It deserves it. And I feel like it's so weird, it's probably going to lose most of its audience very soon.
I mean, the weird ones always do.
Yeah, you don't have to watch Juju or Free Rein if you don't want to. Those are going to be popular enough on their own. They're going to be fine.
All right. Well, until next week, bye.
This is vaguely in the shape of a thing I like. I'll just put that on the weekly schedule.